If you vote yes on 4A in the FasTracks plan, it could change the way you spend your time.
It was very hectic in the days leading up to the vote. There were meetings all around the city. We couldn't advocate for voting for or against it, but we could explain what FasTracks was.
The district did maybe 1,500, 2,000 presentations over a 2-year period or so. So we did a lot of those presentations, and in that, we answered a lot of questions on the FasTracks plan itself.
We call it the big plan at the time. A lot of planning studies were being completed that led up to the corridors that were selected for FasTracks.
It was very stressful and very frantic. There's a lot of things that have to be filed in very tight timeframes right before the election. And if you miss any of those deadlines, you don't get on the ballot. Wednesday morning, I get into the office, and we had had a late board meeting the night before. The Independence Institute had moved for an injunction to stop RTD's Tabor notice from going out, which would have at that point probably stopped the election. And I'm there in the courtroom, and this judge is talking about a remedy. And I passed out cold. They called in the paramedics, insisted that the judge let me finish arguing because, again, these notices are going out Friday with or without RTD's statement or not.
Well, it was a very stressful time, but it was also very exciting because we were able to get so many people to collaborate and come together to support FasTracks. Everyone from the then mayor, now governor, and all 31 metro mayors. And it was really something to see how everyone recognized the importance of this. Naysayers came up with all of these questions, and we were able to keep people focused and on message about how important this was for the long term.
Thought we were under one provision, we were under another, and the judge listened after that, and he wound up ruling in our favor. But it was just a wild time.
Freedom is on the march.
An election this important.
America's best days are ahead of us.
Stakes this big.
We've been through a lot together.
Issues this
Election day was probably one of the most exciting days for my RTD career because there's a lot of excitement in the air.
I remember that election day. It was also a national election day for the president, so that was an exciting time.
It was actually a very nervous time because prior to FasTracks, that vote, there was Guide the Ride, and that was a situation in which we weren't successful as far as the ballot initiative was concerned.
I think a lot of people were optimistic at that point too, and so there was, there was that history, but we were far more prepared, had done a lot more information seeking and a lot more information gathering and getting the word out to folks.
We were answering a lot of questions about the vote and nervous to see whether it would pass or not.
Right now, 6 states are about to close in 6 seconds from now.
By election day, a lot of our polling had shown that the measure was probably going to pass. So we spent that election day writing 2 stories, but I spent more time writing the one that presumed that it passed than the one that it didn't, because you don't want to have one of those Dewey defeats Truman moments, you know.
It was pretty nerve-wracking. I just couldn't wait until 7 o'clock came and the polls closed and we would begin to get the tallies in.
And I was at the DUS station during when the results were coming in, and that's when we were told that the FasTracks project had passed.
Big win here tonight for FasTracks voters.
There was a big celebration with hundreds of people there.
Oh, it was ecstatic.
It was pretty hot.
That moment was extremely gratifying.
Everyone was cheering and hugging each other. It was just really exciting, and that lasted for several days after that.
We were really happy. It was one of the happiest times of my life, I'm sure.
At the end of all the yelling and screaming, I thought, I hadn't been this hoarse since college when I was at a party screaming.
It was a confirming moment, but finally we had buy-in from the public that said that they believed in kind of what we as an organization believed in, and that was the future of mass transit in the area.
There was so much exuberance, but at the same time there was a realization that, wow, our work is just beginning.
We were talking about 9 projects You know, some of them were just extensions of what we had, but 6 new corridors entirely.
And no one's wasting any time. Plans are already underway.
That was the first thought that came to my mind. Let's get to work. Let's figure out how to build this infrastructure and build this investment according to the plan.
Imagine living in a place where you can easily get from one place to another.
Scheduled to begin accommodating the fast light rail, scheduled to open to the public in 2015. District's FasTracks program, Lakewood, Lone Tree, and others.
I think it's good after 10 years to look back on what really has been accomplished. Well, we've gone through a worldwide a global financial collapse. We've gone through an unprecedented spike in construction costs that no one had ever predicted. And we've gone through challenges from our federal partners and the railroads, changing conditions. So 10 years later, you take a look back over your shoulder and say, we really got a lot done.
It's been a roller coaster. And now here we are, and we're back at the top. You know, I'm standing here at Union Station. The train lines are going to open in 2016. Almost all of the program is completed or under construction. It's everything we hoped for.
FasTracks it's so important to me. I ride the light rail every day, and I know what it's going to do for our community.
This is really going to keep the Denver metro area positioned as one of the most competitive and desirable places to live, to attract quality employment and businesses here, but also for the future.
When we look at Denver Union Station where we are now, when you look at the line to the airport where we're about 15 months away or so, when you look at the various other lines, what I see is a tremendous investment in our infrastructure. I see our grandchildren, our great-grandchildren using this infrastructure for the next 100 years.
It's going to be great when I get a little bit older and all my grandkids are riding it. And as you're driving down the corridors, you can say, I had a part of that.